Hi everyone, and welcome to another Pick a Card reading. Now, as you probably guessed it, today's subject has everything to do with the upcoming solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. For some people, it's on the 3rd of December, so today. For other people, it's tomorrow, so the 4th of December. But regardless of the date, an eclipse usually has 6 months manifestation period. So many times it doesn't always do something big and significant straight on the date when it takes place astrologically and even astronomically speaking. Even though this time there might be some swiftness attached to this because it holds an exact quincunx to Uranus, and Uranus is very fast and extremely surprising. It is totally unpredictable, and this tells me that it's a game changer, but in a way which one way or another has to go against our expectations, so we're really not prepared for this, and this is actually part of the picture, part of the magic, part of the surprise. So basically it can happen anytime. For some people, I imagine it's gonna be so very quick, an instant, like a lightning bolt, and your life is changed already. For other people, maybe it's a divine timing, but when you least expect it. And the reason I have to mention all of this is because Uranus is not very susceptible to prediction. This reading offers maybe the big picture, the pattern, but how it plays out, well, it is really going to be a surprise. Now, with this being said, the instructions are simple as always. Just look at the 3 piles of cards and then choose the one which speaks to your intuitive senses the most. The timestamps for the interpretations can be found in the comments below and also in the description of this video. And with this being said, let's begin the reading. Hello everyone who has chosen the first pile. Your cards are the 8 of Swords, the 2 of Coins, the 6 of Cups, and the King of Wands. Now this is a pretty fortunate combination, and perhaps for you guys, the surprise, the big surprise of Uranus is that a certain pattern which you already experienced at least once in your life playing out is going to repeat again. But there is a twist in this, because that pattern, when it played out, so for some people in the very distant past, for other people in just the distant past, I don't believe that for anyone it was like the recent past. The minimum going back is 2 years, but I do sense that 2 years ago this pattern wanted to repeat, but it didn't come to completion, in the sense that maybe it was just a missed opportunity or you weren't ready for this. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is that when this karmic pattern played out in your life, it kind of changed your life significantly. It was like a really bittersweet kind of life change, because before an opportunity entered your life to give you any means of escape, but escape perhaps is not the right word, because actually what I'm picking up is moving on, but very, very quickly, as in 1 month you're in total trouble, everything is hopeless, you're full of frustration, you don't even know what to do with yourself, with your life. For some people it's career related, for example. For other people it's like maybe marriage related, or being stuck in a situation that you just cannot cope with anymore. And the other month, you're already living a new life. For a lot of people, maybe this had to do with some kind of relocation as well, but maybe not for everyone. So before something really big happens, there is always a trouble. This is the kind of situation where the knife is already touching the bone, so the problems, the blockages, the inconveniences, whatever is keeping you tied up right now, and that can be something legal of nature, that can be financial, that can be family things, family problems, relatives, that can also be a marriage, that can also be your job, your career, your livelihood, your income. And why not, for some people, it can actually be spiritual as well. So what matters is that even right now in the present, if you think about it really deeply, you are in one way or another just as stuck and just as hopeless as you were back in the past when you had this big life change. And there is also an irony here, because it is absolutely true that you're stuck, but perhaps the most frustrating part is that you can actually manage, you can cope, you can actually continue and go on like physically, as in you're not really in an impossible situation. You might have had that in the not so distant past, as in just in the recent past, maybe 1 or 2 years ago when you were like really stuck but in danger. Now you can manage, you can cope, so it's more or less okay depending on your perspective. But the problem is that you just can't take it anymore. You just want to move on. You want to live. You want to do something. You have all these dreams, all these ideas. And these aren't just, Neptunian expressions of fantasies, but these are practical things which you want to do. You have like a project idea, a business idea. You're very talented and skilled at something. You might have a lot of things to share. Or you might feel this desire that you're actually ready this time, psychologically, on a soul level, on any level, to be more social, to have connections in your life, to be active socially. Maybe for the first time you're actually open to have more friends, to allow people into your life. You're much more confident, you're much more powerful, you're infinitely wiser. And this is where you're actually embodying your true intelligence. So it's actually quite positive. But because of something, as I said, that can be something legal, like a contract, rent, mortgage, something with the banks, something with your living conditions, shared accommodation or a house, or opportunities that you need just don't go your way in the extent that you need them. Or I don't know, it can be so very many things that keep you blocked, that keep you bound down. So this is what makes it so very hard right now. The fact that, okay, you can cope, you can manage, it's not really a big problem if you look at it from a very high perspective, but at the same time there's the potential, there's the willingness, there's the plan, the intelligence, there is this potential that you have within yourself and you feel it very, very strongly. It's not like you want to put it on the shelf and save it for later use. You feel that you want to be alive, you want to do it, you want to live it right now because you're genuinely ready on the inside. And this is where you don't even have fears. You mustered enough self-confidence and sense of adventure to be able to work with this, to be able to live all the ideas, plans, and this new life that you're looking for. And when I say new life, it's not literally new, because deep inside of you, especially mentally, you already know what you want to do. You already envisaged it, and you already started it. You actually started it, and that goes against your conditions, because you have done a lot of gestures to already live it, as small as they may be, but they're very, very important, because they actually gave you the sense that I'm actually doing it, I'm living it. Maybe not in the way that it would be ideal, but at least I have something and I know how it feels like, and I love it so much, and I want this to be my future. So there is this element, and the contradiction of the, blockages or whatever is preventing you whatever is taking away that freedom to actually go and do it, regardless of what it is. And this element that you're already living it and loving it, that is like a big friction, inner friction, that is like a kind of frustration that will not go away. So maybe right now, because you don't have a really grounded, down to earth, should I say 3D option or chance to escape the spider web, whatever that represents, whatever keeps you bound down. So you are thinking, do I actually kill my dreams? Do I actually stop pretending that I'm living it? Or do I, focus on it even more? Because living in this duality is a little bit hard, as in emotionally hard. Of course, sometimes it's so very lovely and it makes you happy and it makes you love it so much more, whatever you're doing, whatever you started doing. But other days it's like salt and wound, because it's like a Cinderella story where, okay, you're living your dream, and then 12 o'clock you have to return to the spider web, if that makes sense symbolically, of course. So, as you probably guessed it, that old karmic pattern, when your life can turn around, when your life can change very, very quickly, very swiftly, is preparing itself to manifest. So you kind of already feel it, you kind of sense that something is upcoming, but maybe you don't interpret it in the positive way. Maybe you think, oh no, not another obstacle, not another misfortune, not another loss, or some dramatic thing that will just shatter me again. And you might have also had certain dreams where there is some kind of symbolism that keeps recurring, so your unconscious is really focusing on that, but you either might not be able to interpret what exactly it is, or maybe you looked on Google or something and don't interpret it the right way, but it is actually positive. But there is a big but. Whatever opportunity the universe, your own karmic path, your own destiny offers you this time. And this is just a side note. Maybe for some of you guys, it's your nodal return, and that's why the pattern is coming back once again. For others, maybe it's your Jupiter return. But this doesn't really matter as much. What matters is that you have to make different choices that you have done in the past. Even though in the past it did change your life. So it worked like a charm and you got what you wanted. Of course, in a very weird, random, unexpected way, but it was still what you wished for. But you were much less experienced, and maybe you were also very angry and resentful and, hurt in the past because something blocked you even in the past. So that was the similarity, that you were in a similar situation. Just that back then you were much more, how should I say, rebellious or not as mature, so you kind of took it strongly personally. Maybe there was also a conflict in your life that motivated you even more. So those harsh feelings and that urgency, and also maybe the vengefulness of it all, because when I say you moved on in a way where you left a big hole from where you kind of escaped. May that be a job, a relationship, a career, a house, your family, etc. So you made sure, maybe not consciously but unconsciously, that those people or whatever you left behind are gonna know the difference. So they're gonna miss you and they're gonna see very clearly your true value and what they couldn't appreciate. But this time, of course, the frustration is there, but the hard feelings, the anger is not there, because everything is really a matter of perspective, and you had a lot of inner work done on yourself to make sure that you're not angry and you surrender, you accept, you take everything in life with a very strong emotional and spiritual maturity, and that makes all the difference. So now, right now, when that opportunity enters your life, you're gonna be using it in a very different way. If it means, like, for example, a relocation for some people, you're not gonna make a big urgency out of it. You're gonna do it very wisely, very diligently, with calm and peace and careful planning. And you're also gonna make sure that you're not leaving a hole from what you're abandoning, even though that is the spider web, but you still show compassion, and that will make all the difference. While for others, it can be, for example, a financial opportunity, a new job. Maybe you have a job already, but it's not doing a lot of good for you. It's just keeping you going, keeping you alive. And all of a sudden, a job opportunity, which is exactly what you need, comes into your life through, let's say, a friend, but one that you would not expect to offer you that, or to have certain connections. Or maybe someone from the past is gonna return and share something with you. For other people, it can be a relationship, for example, but where this new person is totally not what you expect, but something about them really, really motivates you and inspires you, and you take this offer, you take the partnership, you give them a chance, and they will transform your life. For example, this is another possibility, especially if the spider web is loneliness, for example. For some people, it can just be that psychological state of not being able to be single anymore, because you embraced it and it already served the purpose, but now it is just way too much. For other people, maybe especially for those who they have a certain skill, a talent, maybe something artistic, you're very, very good at something and you already started working with that. That's very important. Maybe you're not very good managers. Maybe you can't manage yourself very, very well. And who comes in your life is someone who can do exactly that unconditionally. And they're gonna propulse you on the right path, but in a very physical, in a very material or maybe management kind of way. They will show you exactly what to do, how to do it. And not only will that catapult you towards your well-being, your greater well-being, as in to live the dream, to live that which you desired and you already started, but in a proper way, as in a way where it totally supports you, but it also creates a beautiful friendship or alliance, collaboration, etc. And also, if this is such a person, this person had someone else do this for them, so that's why it will go on in chains, because you yourself will do this to another person in the more distant future. But most of this might take place either in the first 2 months or in the second half of 2022. So that is going to be a very memorable year for you, when you're freeing yourself from your bonds and just living life how you know it, how you want it, on your terms. And of course, this is the Two of Coins energy. This doesn't mean that prosperity is going to flow in your life in great abundance and you're going to be living a life of luxury. No, this actually means pretty modest lifestyle, maybe even a minimalistic lifestyle, but you're totally free, you're totally independent, and everything in life, especially materially, job-wise, work-wise, or what you do with your spare time, or if it's a partnership, your living conditions are totally on your terms. So you don't even need anything else, because this is your dream, this is the freedom. This is where no one is there, not a contract, not a person, not a situation, not an emotional state to keep you blocked. You do exactly what you want to do, and that's the beauty, that's the charm, that's the magic of it, and that's the passion of it. And as I said, for some of you, especially those of you who are open for a much more upgraded social life, and you know that you're open right now to have real friends, to have connections, to have acquaintances or maybe be part of a community in a proper sense, then maybe a relocation is gonna do that for you. Or it can be like connecting to a tribe. But when I say tribe, I don't necessarily mean the spiritual connotation of that, but people who share something with you, like a principle, ideal, a talent, a skill, or like an alliance, but a big scale alliance. For example, a guild, and you're part of a guild, or you're part of a non-profit organization, or you're part of like I'm not even sure the proper word for that, like naturist community who lives off the land, if that makes sense, and everyone helps everyone, and solidarity, and the way people used to live naturally, maybe just 200, 300 years ago, that's what they're doing, that's what they're living. But of course, this will be different for everyone. The big thing is that it's going to provide you with balance too of coins. It's going to provide you with income or livelihood or to sustain yourself. It's going to provide you with freedom. And it's going to provide you with living life on your terms. And that is the most valuable thing in it. So this is what the cards have to say for you, pal number one. Thank you so much for listening. And I wish you a really expansive and horizon opening eclipse. Until next time, bye for now. Hello everyone who has chosen the second pile. Your cards are the 9 of Wands, the King of Swords, the 4 of Wands reversed, and the 4 of Coins. Now this is a pretty interesting and pretty heavy energy, because I do sense that in a certain way, you're already living the manifestation of the eclipse. For you guys, I do believe that it kind of concluded even the month of June, where we had a similar eclipse, but it was a lunar one, and that kind of catapulted you into a very, very intense instinctual emotional state where every fiber of your being told you that we need to achieve breakthrough right now, but right now kind of meant at least in the worst case scenario this year, in the year 2021, because it was some kind of urgent necessity for you guys. And you might have been working on that breakthrough ever since, and you're still working on it, just that perhaps in June, July, maybe even the beginning of August, it was really, really hard because you had a lot of wounding to deal with. And I do believe that for many of you guys, this might have to do with something professional or life path. So maybe even if it's not job, it is what you're here for, your life path basically, your soul mission, something that you discovered about yourself the past, let's say, either 9 months or 3 to 4 even years, and it was like a psychological rebirth, even an identity rebirth. But before the rebirth, you had to shed off everything and everyone who you're actually not, cutting a lot of social connections, even for some of you guys, a really sad and painful relocation, where, the relocation was kind of necessary. And, when you look at it now, it was ultimately life-changing, life-saving, whatever. But the moment you had to do this, it was so hard. But for other people, it's not like a physical relocation, but really just putting a stop, like a full stop, to a lifestyle and having to begin from zero, especially psychologically. And that was so very hard. But you've done that, you've been there, you know why it happened, how it happened. You've done everything in your power to rebuild your life. to heal yourself, to balance everything that needed to be balanced out. That was like job well done, it was completed, it was finished. But perhaps the COVID situation and the big world change that we're still in kind of came like an unexpected shock, because it changed so much in your life externally that you had to readapt so very many times. And I'm not saying that it, for you personally, it was bad or the scary or the doom and gloom. I do believe that it was quite positive and you benefited from it. It wasn't really in your disadvantage, but having to readapt to, a different lifestyle, different social values, everyone's life being different. Well, that part was like an up and down. It had a lot of inconveniences, it has a lot of conveniences. The sheer fact of adaptation was what was the down part. Because adapting requires a lot of inner energy, a lot of mental, psychological, emotional, and even spiritual energy. So it really, really left you feeling drained. But even that period of feeling drained, burned out, down is over. And as I said, right now you're still working and fighting for that breakthrough with much more self-confidence, with the fires of passion burning strongly inside of you. So very strongly that they're actually wounding you, if that makes sense, because the 9 of Wands is strength in opposition. And if you look at the Rider-Waite depiction of this card, the character there has been through a lot of trial. That is the same character who is in the 5 of Wands, the battle, then the 6 of Wands, who was triumphant, but also the 7 of Wands, who had to defend its ground, who had to defend its title. Also the 8 of Wands, who had to adapt itself to very, very, very quick changes, spontaneous decisions, spontaneous action. And now the 9 of Wands, well, it has monumental strength, Atlas, for example, but it's wounded because it was too much for them. So right now, you have this strength, you have this passion, you have this determination, but you're very, very wounded as well. And this isn't the classical wounding where, whatever happened 10 years ago and the trauma and this and that. This is fresh wounding, whatever happened now, this year, this summer. And what the eclipse is going to do for you guys, well, you might have already guessed it, your breakthrough is coming, but it's not an easy energy. It's not an easy breakthrough. It's easy in itself because the opportunity will show itself. But it's not easy because it will require you to step out from your comfort zone even more. And that is your wounding, because you're not even in your comfort zone. You haven't even had enough time to make something comfortable in your life for yourself. So maybe you're the kind of person who is not comfortable in any area of their lives at all. Not even, let's say, spiritually. And now this comes along and it gives you even more discomfort, as in whatever this 9 of Wands is, your passion, whatever you're ambitious about, that life path, as I said, for some people career, for other people something that they want to do in their lives, for other people is a big desire, for other people a certain place where they want to live, for other people maybe they're looking for a relationship, for other people to escape a marriage and go independent, or escape a job and be independent. For other people to be recognized on a larger scale for something that they're brilliant at. A talent, a mindset, a project, or something they want to do, something innovative. Your brilliance, your ingenuity, your talent and skill. For some people this is even learned, so they actually worked a lot for this. Well, that is without a doubt everything in your life reflected that you're very, very good at that. And you take an action, you've done everything that you needed to do, but you need maybe that bigger scale recognition in order to give your life the comfort that you're seeking. But before the comfort comes, even more discomfort. I'm so sorry to say this, but that King of Swords, without a doubt, that's the opportunity. And that's not just a simple opportunity, that's an opportunity which you're extremely empowered. So you have the power, the choice, the decision in your hands. You make the rules, you set the terms and conditions. You will have all this power because, let me just give an example. This might not really be your case, but someone offers you a contract because they really, really want you to work for them or to join them, collaborate, whatever is susceptible for your life. But it will change your life so profoundly in, this, all the small details, but this time that is exactly what gives you comfort. So you will really have to think very carefully, very deeply on when, how, in which way. So basically the hardest part is your terms and conditions. Having all the power and all of this being more unilateral, as in it's just what you say goes, all of it. That won't even actually be of that much help because of that Four of Wands reversed. Maybe it's a relocation that you will have to do. Maybe leave your family behind. Oh, okay, not behind, not in the sense that you abandon them, but a physical separation or a greater distance. Or if you let's say have a family, maybe you won't have the time to be with them 24/7. If you were someone who nurtured your family, all those gestures, or maybe you cook food for them or something like that. Now that changes. If you're young, maybe you have to leave your family home. That's not a very easy thing either. Or if you're in an established bond, maybe you will have to ask your partner to leave with you, as in maybe it's your partner who has to leave a job or leave something that they're very comfortable with. So that's not easy either. For some of you, it might be even more twisted than this. Maybe you had a very strong career, you got burned out, you had to stop, you're relaxing, you had all this time to, heal yourself, rekindle the flame, etc. And unexpectedly you get called back into that career, and from one moment to the other, you will have to make this huge step and you're not even sure if you're ready or not. Maybe you are afraid to go back into the field or that domain that you were really, really good at. For other people, let's say the most simple fact that you're looking for a relationship and you get it, and someone comes your way and there's your new relationship, but maybe when you're in it, it's such a powerful routine change, emotional change, energy change, that it just shocks you. You will need some time to process it. But all of this doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what this discomfort represents, because we have to look at the Four of Coins, the long-term stability, the long-term comfort. When you get used to this new comfort zone that you will be creating, or maybe for some lucky people it will be just offered to you, that this is your new comfort zone, get used to it, bye. Anyway, that will be very, very significant, especially if all of this is career related. That the Four of Coins is big recognition. It is your professional value. It is where you're not just going to be anyone. You're not going to be a worker in this domain or that domain. You're going to be someone who is not very easy to access by the general public. And that part is your big comfort zone, because you won't have to deal with everyone. You will just have to deal with those people who are truly worthy. So that is really, really good. Or let's say if that discomfort is not being able to spend time with your family, well, imagine the pride and joy and that satisfaction of your family that you are this successful. So it really won't be bad. Or even if you have to leave a shared accommodation or the family home or stuff like that, your solo lifestyle is gonna be so empowering that it will simply feel like living in a new dimension. And alternatively, that King of Swords can be either you, so your breakthrough, your plans, your notoriety, your professional strength. But for other people, it can be the connection. For example, like a brown-haired, brown-eyed, or dark-eyed man who is extremely intelligent, so a male who is gonna offer you everything that you need. All you have to do is say yes and make the move, but it will require a lot of strength, a lot of courage, a lot of determination, exactly because you're still wounded. That Nine of Wands, that is very important, because you must also be aware of your wounds, and your wounds, which are open wounds, they are fresh wounds. So you're tired. You put so much ambition into whatever it is that you desire to accomplish, whatever that life path thing is, that you have no energy left in your soul. So you're empty. Or if that's a relationship, you're like hopeless, total. You don't even have any spark of hope that something good is gonna happen soon. So you have a very strong, fresh wound. So everything seems very scary to you right now. And it's not scary to your mind. Your mind will be overjoyed. It's scary to your instincts, because your instincts want to defend you. So even if it's like a grand opportunity, you might not perceive it when it comes in your life as something that very good. You might be very scared of it. So know this, because you need to be truly patient with yourself and just don't act out of desperation. Don't decline out of desperation, but neither don't jump straight into the fray out of desperation. So make this move, make this transition wisely and diligently. And last but not least, do not fear regret. Do not fear that when you say yes, you're gonna regret it. Because, this is the kind of situation with the eclipse. There is no right or wrong. There is no regret. It will lead you exactly where you need to be. And never forget how much you worked for this and what you suffered in the not so distant past. So let that be a big motivation to you. So thank you so much for listening. This concludes your reading. I wish everyone a truly blessed and prosperous eclipse. Until next time, bye for now. Hello everyone who has chosen the third pile. Your cards are the World. In this deck it's called the Universe, Death, Queen of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands reversed. Now for you guys, this is actually a really big energy and a really big life change. This isn't just the classic case of let's begin a new cycle, so the old chapter has to close and a new beginning, and how the story, the journey continues. No, it's not as cyclical, if that makes sense, because that everyone in their own personal, every single living being is subjected to cycles, so everyone kind of lives the let's close the old chapter and begin the new. So that is not that big of a deal. But this is the kind of life change where it's like truly big. It is like not just fated, but even that fated energy was so strongly alchemized by you that it will just shatter your perception of what normality actually is, in a good sense. I have to mention that. So it's not doom and gloom, but it's a very, very big life change. Now, of course, this means different things for different people, but there are maybe 2 or 3 listeners who are choosing this third pile, for whom I can actually resume it in a couple of words, in a couple of sentences. So some of you guys are profoundly, but when I say it's really profoundly, spiritual people, so much so that you're probably into magic, into the occult. You practiced a lot, and your heart's desire was always to do this, all as in for this to be every single second of your life. It is the kind of thing where once or recently or whatever, you totally dedicated your whole life to the divine, to the universe, to magic, whatever that means. But, the big but, not in a way where you're a spiritual worker and you counsel people, you work with people. No, not that. Maybe you already done that. Maybe that's something old. Maybe that chapter either is closing right now or was closed at one point in your life. This is the kind of thing where you're actually doing that outside of work. So outside of being a worker in this domain. This is the kind of energy where you live that spirituality or you live that magical life in a real sense. And of course there's a big twist here, because the very thing that you desired made your life like a total hell up until this point. Everything and everyone in your life kind of suggested that maybe you should stop this, maybe you shouldn't be taking this too extreme, maybe you should be more down to earth, grounded, maybe have a job, maybe have a family, children, in a classical sense, give in to the ways of society, not to be like them, but to make the compromise. But you didn't make the compromise. You did everything in your power to stay pure, but the sacrifice for that was huge, as in it cost a massive toll. For some of you guys, maybe it almost cost your physical life, your physical existence as well. But anyway, that was a lot of work, that was a lot of sacrifice. That was where you proved the divine or the magic or whatever you're serving, that you're that serious about this. And it took this eclipse for you to get what you want, in the sense that the Queen of Pentacles, not sure how, but the universe is going to provide you with an income where you don't have to work physically anymore, maybe never in your life. And what you're going to do with it, well, you know what you're going to do. Live your spirituality, live your truth, live your magic. And that's about what you do in the next chapter. Well, that's up to you and your own magic. And for you guys, it's this simple. Now, for everyone else, well, of course the energies are similar here, because you guys had a lot of hardships in life. You had big negative events in your life which kind of shattered you. And this isn't just one event. This was like every 6 years or every 10 years something very unpleasant happened. It turned your life upside down. It broke your self-worth. It stomped out your self-esteem, if that makes sense. And you had to recover. You had to do whatever it took for you to survive and to rebuild your life, to rebuild your emotional world, your soul, your optimistic spirit, which is specific to you, because you're actually a very, very optimistic person. You're a very happy person in your heart of hearts. You find it so very easy and natural to just be happy, regardless of the small details. And you have this very humorous way about you, a strong lightheartedness that makes you so very lovable, magical. But life did not allow you to be who you are, because you had a lot of challenges. And this world card, those challenges weren't even due to you, as in they weren't a result of your actions, of your personal karma, whatever you have done and the choices you have made. That was a strong sacrificial karma, either because of your family of origin, a marriage where when you get married, well, you kind of share the other person's karma, and that person who you got married to and maybe divorced So maybe that is a chapter of the past. That person had a very heavy karma and it kind of destroyed your life as well. Or better said, just your life. And either way, for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, parents or whatever, children, you really sacrificed a lot for. So, the road to hell is paved with good intention, but good intention is so very you, it is your soul, that you had no choice. And this also left you with a certain kind of spiritual heartbreak, because many times you asked yourself, but is the universe really so unfair? Is it truly like a machine where it has no heart? Because you also knew that you excessively sacrificed sometimes, and then that you kind of maybe made certain important people in your life a little bit lazy for doing so much for them. So you're aware of all of this, but where's the good intent? Where's the love? Where's the forgiveness? Where's the being able to see the good intent in your actions? Where's that part? Well, it took this world change, the world card, to actually trigger that strong karmic energy to end the cycle, to end the pattern, to end the sacrifice, to purge out and sever the karmic connections which aren't yours. And if you are solo in the sense of just your own karma, well, you're the Queen of Pentacles. Since you're a nurturer yourself in any way, shape or form, you nurture, you give, you understand, you listen, you show compassion, you show kindness. The maximum harm that you do, let's say, is just leave me alone. That's basically your self-defense when you enter into your shell. But even for you to learn to say no, it took some time. So anyway, your own karma, well, that is actually a big reward just waiting to enter your life. And as I said earlier, it took this powerful world change to trigger all of this, so it ends maybe not exactly at the time of the eclipse, but you can already feel it in the marrow of your bones that a big ending is coming. And what truly is changing is that life and reality itself, the very karmic forces that once disadvantaged you, are gonna behave differently to you. So it's almost like a quantum change. Reality is gonna be different. It's gonna react differently to you. It's gonna be like stepping properly into a new dimension. So what follows next isn't even set in stone. It will simply match your frequency, and because your frequency is nurturing, the universe will simply nurture you in every way, shape or form. So this is where your nurturing and sacrificial tendencies, which is part of you, so no use fighting them, those won't make you a martyr, a victim, someone's doormat, if that makes sense. They will reflect in your life instantly, literally, and in a much greater degree than what you give. So basically, the happiness and stability and everything that you need in this new life, which is actually almost like a new dimension, is guaranteed because of your nature. So what happens physically in a concrete way doesn't even matter at all, because you already know what you suffered, what you learned, what life has, all the wounds, all the negativity, all the hardship. You know who they transformed you into. So basically, all I can say is get ready to receive. And the most important part is the 7 of Wands reversed. Life is no longer gonna be a struggle. No self-defense needed. No survival mode needed. You get your peace. So whatever happens, however it happens, it's not gonna be stressful. It's not gonna be conflictual. It's not gonna be like a big struggle, always having to defend yourself and others. And when I say defend, not from someone specifically, situations, precautions, diligence, let's make sure that this goes right, that goes right, that I have enough. If you have to split your resources, you always put yourself on last place, so that makes life a big, huge struggle. And basically that is the world card for you, your big karmic completion, your big karmic reward, stepping into a new kind of reality, if that makes sense, a new personal reality, a new personal dimension. And it really, really doesn't matter how it manifests, because you're already safe. And this Queen of Pentacles can mean so many things. It can mean career, but easy, very, very easy career, and prosperous. Easiness in anything is the keyword here, or a new relationship, or a new whatever that you actually need in your life for comfort, especially physical comfort. And the easiness of it all is what's gonna make all the difference. So this is what the cards have to say for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a truly blessed and miraculous eclipse. Until next time, bye for now. Well, this concludes today's pick a card. Thank you everyone for being here, for listening, for choosing my channel when there are 10 million other much better channels out there. I feel so very honored and blessed. Thank you for everyone's kindness, support, generosity. If you'd like to keep supporting my work, you can donate on the PayPal link in the description below. And finally, let's all remember that a solar eclipse is also a new moon, so we must make sure to keep on planting that seed of intention into the universe. I wish everyone a blessed and magical Sagittarian eclipse. Until next time, bye for now.